What's up? My name is Eric Butler. This channel is called Report and Opine, and a couple of weeks ago, Billboard and Vibe magazine, I believe, named the 50 best rappers of all time in honor of the 50th anniversary of hip-hop. I haven't seen the full list just yet. Obviously, Rick Ross here is number 50, and of course, it's all up for debate. That's what they wanted to do. They want to get clicks and have people talk about it, and I think this is actually pretty good. This is a little more lighthearted than most of the things that we typically debate. But I did see the top 10, I believe. I haven't memorized it, but it was absolutely offensive. It's completely wrong. It's not even up for debate. It's just downright wrong. But let's look at the full list and see how they got to that weirdo top 10 that somehow had Nicki Minaj ahead of Kanye West, which is just blasphemous. But Rick Ross is number 50. Sure, I don't know. I've actually been out of touch with the entire, rap scene for a couple years now, but I like Rick Ross. I really have no problems with him. Obviously, Hustlin' was good. Blow, I think as the kids say, their early stuff was better. I don't know what he's doing these days, selling champagne or some. All the rappers now are doing probably some crypto scam or some betting app like Stake that Drake's doing. But Rick Ross, number 50, fine. Nothing wrong there. Run-DMC, I don't know. That was before my time. Melle Mel, also before my time. Did he do The Message, right? Is that who that is? Before Melle Mel's game-changing run with Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, rap was still constrained by its Yes, Yes, Y'all Park Jam origins. Then came The Message. Yes, yeah, that's it. So that was a great song, and the video is great, too. It looks like we're reliving that entire thing all over again if you go watch the old Message video. So I guess that's number 48. He could arguably be higher. I don't know. I guess it depends on your generation. MC Lyte, I don't know. I couldn't name one MC Lyte song. Again, a little bit before my time. In 1987, MC Lyte bum rushed her way into hip-hop's boys club with a throat-grabbing voice and dynamic lyricism that seemed well beyond her. So she was only 16 when she did that. But yeah, Cold Rocket Party. I guess Poor Georgie. Jadakiss, number 46. I guess I can get on board with that. That's more, more of my time. I was a kid when Jadakiss came out with the locks. I think his voice is very recognizable. He does like the weird laugh and stuff. But Jadakiss, for the record, I think all three of the locks had a good solo run. Maybe not the most popular, but they were talented. A far cry from what constitutes talent today, where you just kind of say the same thing over and over again. The mumble rap or the kind of syrup, lean rap. It was completely different from that. And all three of them were good at that. So kudos. I guess that's good. Ice-T. Don't really know any of 6 in the Morning. I think, was that him? Yeah. Ice-T's Harrowing 6 in the Morning from 86. Yeah, that's too old. I don't know. Queen Latifah. Can't remember one of her songs either. I mean, I'm not an expert in hip hop. Like, my hip hop knowledge is from from let's say 2003 to 2015 or 16. That's when I was up on this. So all of these people so far have basically not been in between that, except for maybe Jadakiss and Rick Ross. So that's why I don't know much about these people. But it's really the top 10 that I want to get to. So Queen Latifah, she was good in what was that movie she was in? Set It Off, I guess that's what I know her from. Bun B, UGK, International Players Anthem, of course, R.I.P. Pimp C, who's going viral recently for some kind of, I guess, anti-woke, anti-agenda stuff that he said when he was alive, and he died a long time ago. So shout out to Bun B and Pimp C. Redman, Redman, Method Man, How High, that was good times, I guess. Obviously, Redman is most famous for his Cribs episode. Or I don't know if that's obvious, but that's where I remember him from, was that funny Cribs episode where you think it's going to be, this lavish lifestyle like the rest of the rappers, and it's really just like some modest place in New Jersey with a box of dollar bills on top of the fridge. E40 is an old picture of E40 when he had the locks. He had the locks for a little bit. I grew up on E40. He's actually, I think E40 is probably the first rapper I ever listened to. Growing up in the Bay, I think he was the first time I'd ever said like I knew a rapper's name and listened to their song, and probably had like a little cassette or something. Didn't know what he was talking about. It's still hard to decipher what E40's talking about, but at the time it was good. He ushered in a whole new slang, a whole new movement. So I would argue, just, I'm biased being from the Bay, that maybe he should be higher, but who knows? Dr. Dre should probably be higher. We're only at number 40 right now, but I guess he was more of a producer than a rapper. So shout out Dr. Dre, I guess. He did some good stuff, but then he went weirdly woke with the agenda and like denounced Marjorie Taylor Greene because she used his video in a Twitter. She used his music in a Twitter video or something like that. And they can't escape it, right? We saw a long list of rappers. I posted it to my Instagram story. Lil Durk was hanging out with Mayor Lori Lightfoot in Chicago, and Lil Baby was hanging out with Kamala Harris, and E40 was actually hanging out with Kamala Harris too, which is sad. Jay-Z and Beyonce, of course, did their song and dance for Hillary Clinton. The list goes. Oh, Hillary Clinton was also hanging out with Lotto, and Cardi B was interviewing Joe Biden, and that was all fun and games. Everybody clapped like seals, but when Kanye West showed up to talk to President Donald Trump about prison reform or whatever, he was laughed out of the building and called crazy. So that's the game we're playing here. Ludacris was definitely in the meaty section of when I was listening to this music pretty heavily. I still like the good old days, right? Like I can still watch Seinfeld even though Jerry's gone woke, Elaine's gone woke, but nothing can take away from what they created at the time. And I never was really a huge Ludacris fan, but he had a couple of good songs. I don't know if that puts him at number 39. Gucci. What can you say about Gucci? I don't know. I never really got super heavy into his music, but he has some good songs, I guess. I don't know. This would take a really long time to actually break down. No, but you can never really have 50 people. That's impossible to rank, but I guess he's right in that meaty part of the bell curve too. So, and shout out Gucci, went to jail and came out fit, and I guess in that particular situation, maybe prison, did its job, and he came out, he was all fit and he was preaching a completely different message and not being, he didn't have constipated lean gut. He was working out, so something worked for him. Common, never really listened to him. He's older than most of these rappers, I believe. I mean, not older than the older generation of rappers, but he kind of had a career and then went away and then came back with Kanye West. And then he was also spotted with Stacey Abrams, playing the role of this weirdo political shill. And I don't think any of his music can make up for that. So I don't like him at all. Yasin Bey, formerly Mos Def. Again, Mos Def is kind of like the Kendrick Lamar. Like, people just praised him like he was the best thing, and I couldn't name 2 songs of his, Miss Fat Booty or something like that. Who knows? But I don't think he was ever as good as people claimed he was. Umi says Miss Fat Booty. Yeah, okay. Future. Now, Future, I will admit, I know this is probably difficult. A lot of people don't like Future. He's toxic or whatever, but he ushered in a sound that I enjoyed, the pinnacle of, sort of listen to the beat, not the lyrics type of rap, right? Because you could kind of barely understand what he was saying. He was always talking about lean, always talking about drugs. It's up for debate if he was ever actually really into that stuff. I kind of look at him like sort of a movie star, right? Like, you don't get mad at Johnny Depp for playing a drug dealer. But I'm an adult. I can see through this. And, a lot of people blame Future for what happened to Juice WRLD, which is a completely different story. So I can understand why people didn't like him, but, I did. I still do. I still bump old Future. I don't know what he's doing these days. I didn't really get into, anything after What a Time to Be Alive, which I think was in 2017. Anything after that I don't really know about, but Future between 2015 and 2017, 2018 was fire. That's for sure. Chuck D, a little bit before my time, seems like a political shield. Don't really know. And it's always going to be disguised as like this, fight for righteousness, but who knows what to believe these days. Then we got Busta Rhymes. fair enough. Like some people, I think he recently, or Ray J, I think recently went kind of viral for talking about Busta Rhymes' verse in Chris Brown's song "Look at Me Now," and they're arguing that he's might not really be saying anything at all. Because at the time when the song came out, it went viral for his super like quadruple pace rap, and then you kind of break it down, you're like, he's not saying any words at all. But Busta Rhymes had his own style for sure, and I think he deserves it. I don't know if to be at number 33. Sure, right in the middle. T.I., another one of these just awful shills who's actually talented. Like if you listen to some of T.I.'s old music, I don't know about the deep cuts. I didn't listen to all the deep album cuts, but his radio hits were good. They were like kind of Ashanti Ja Rule style. Like he has some sing-songy stuff with Rihanna, super pop hits, and now he's trying to be a comedian. He's also shilling for the political establishment. So it's all really disappointing because if you listen to T.I., he was actually talented. Of course, people make fun of him because he's always trying to pretend that he has this big vocabulary. And he kind of was caught in this like real hypocritical situation when he was doing a comedy routine. And there's also some scandal that he and his wife had. I don't know the details of that. My point is he was talented. He was good at the time. And then he turned into a political shill, as most of them do. Of course, when you go the opposite, when you turn into a political rebel, like my man Kanye West, you get laughed out of the building and called crazy, but that's just the world we live in.